We're seeing game one going to Haven here, so it will be a little bit of a switch up from the Dust 2 of Behind that we usually see, but no word yet on game two, game three, so we will see how those shape up. We are getting into grand finals of Rolled versus Big Frames. To remind you, Big Frames, a completely new team to this competition. Rolled, very much the veterans here, looking to maintain their dominance over the VSS.
I'm pretty excited to see this matchup here because, seeing Big Frames take on Destin, who is also a veteran, and then Rolled, which is in my opinion, a completely different playstyle from Destin.
Yeah.
And I just kind of want to see how they match up and just to see if one is going to dominate the other on something like this or if we're going to have another close back and forth match.
Destined always striked me as a fraggers team. Destined is racking up heavy kill counts with Ziff, with DSR.
And without a Sage.
Yeah, and without a... Yeah, that's how frag-centric they were, is they didn't even considered to get a support character. They're like, no, I just want to be able to run and gun to the best of my ability. So picking up the Reyna in that sense made so much sense, while you have the Sova and Cypher getting as much information as possible. So Destined, very much carving out their own style in terms of that frag heavy team. Rolled is a very organized team. You see Rolled coming through with very coordinated executes of their utility. They are very much a team that will consistently hold the round to that 45-second mark, and then the smokes rain down and the mollies come down and Sova's firing his thing, and it happens so fast you can't even keep up with it. So
yeah.
That's what we're expecting to see from Rolled, and it will definitely be a necessary adjustment for Big Frames to keep up with that coordination. But to Big Frames' credit, they've certainly showed that coordination taking over Destined. It was pretty much a very coordinated team effort from them. So if any team can do it, I'm sure Big Frames will be able to win some. One of the biggest fraggers we've seen thus far this week, starting the action out towards mid, laying down some bullets. It looks like Big Frames are committed over to this B and C side. Not very many eyes of Rolled are going to look over to B as... Wow, Big Frame spills over through B and does the quick rotate to A. Look at this. They're going to catch Adrenaline through the rotate. He does get the first kill, gets the second for himself as well. Frags rolling in faster than we can say, but what an interesting push from Big Frames straight through B site on over to A.
Yeah, there was just too many of him for him to take down, but I mean,
wow.
Beautifully done for him to take out the first two immediately.
Yeah, really solid response from Rolled. I think a very unorthodox push there from Big Frames. Rolled, unfazed by that, will take the first round in quite a succinct manner.
Yeah, Adrenaline was just able to hold his own, and that is really what mattered for the side of Rolled there. If he would have just got taken out immediately, it would have been a totally different try to, to retake that.
Imagine if Adrenaline had been just forcing the rotate over to B and had his knife out and was running over to site, which is what I expected to see. So really smart play from Adrenaline, not losing his head there. We see sort of a half buy thus far coming through for Rolled for the second round. Two of their members, Adrenaline and Han, sticking to the Ghost. I think this is a smart play for the second round in response to picking up that first round. It looks like Big Frames are going to do a full save push on over to C as they are running through all the equipment. Winsome almost able to lay down the shots, not quite enough. Turn up too easy, will be able to follow up, but meanwhile Rolled are rolling in with the kills. Forgive me for the pun, but what a quick decimation of Big Frames from Rolled 2-0.
It's just too easy to say, and that was huge intel that Mizzou got from hopping outside of the site and being able to catch all five in his sights and telling the rest of his team, okay, they're all here.
Really, really smart stuff from Rolled, and this is exactly what we were saying getting into this match. This is a coordinated team. You're gonna have to do something clever outside of just out-fragging them to get on top. Big Frames going down 0-2 to start. They will be able to pick up some guns this time around. Impulsive Street staying with the Bulldog and Adrenaline. Meanwhile, opens up the action over on A short. A really, really clever spot for that op to peek, usually sending it heaven or A long. Big Frames completely on the back heel now, having to reconfigure their strategy. Winsome trying to find an edge here through the mid doors, not able to do so. Now forced away, taking so much damage. He will be able to pick up that heal from turn up too easy as CP2 gets the action started in Garage with a double kill of his own. Now Big Frames are free to take over C-Site, and this is a tricky 2v3 for Rolled now.
Captain killed.
Polly evens up the kill count here. They will still have to work together. Adrenaline peeking through this back corridor, not finding anybody quite yet. One member of Big Frames holding middle of sight. Polly sneaks his way, and a beautiful Lear assists CP2 to pick up his third kill of the round, and yet another. These Lears from Winsome, an absolute godsend for Big Frames. This is a switch from what we saw previously. He was on the Rays in the semifinals, getting all kinds of huge explosive kills, picked up a bunch of the rocket launcher kills. This is a completely new role for him in this map. Getting the utility down of that Lear completely opened up the door for CP2 to take over as the top fragger for Big Frames. Big Frames cutting rolled lead in half.
Yeah, and he was doing actually what was talked about before, where we were talking about Breach throwing out the blind and then having a teammate peek it.
Right.
That way you can run out at the same exact time, and they had no chance. CP was able to clear those up clean.
Han trying to get cheeky with the shorty, not able to do it this time. Adrenaline might be able to show him how it's done, but Randy Savage does not give him the opportunity. Rolled being a little cheeky here as they are now on the back foot economy-wise. Zoo, the solo player for Rolled onto the C site, not able to make a stand, as Big Frames will be able to get the spike down now in this 5v2.
Yeah, just controlling that sheriff again. I'm seeing players time and time again have such a hard time with it.
Polly does get a cheeky kill over to CP2, but not much else doing. Adrenaline, the lone man with the shorty, gonna have to do something a little out of the ordinary. Randy Savage not giving him the opportunity. Big Frames tie it up 2-2.
And it looks like we're gonna see a full buyout from the side of World this time.
This should do.
Yeah, Rolled now in a more comfortable spot economy-wise than last round for sure. But Big Frames with a lot of cash in the bank. You have to expect if Big Frames drops this round, they will be able to put another round together hereafter.
Revealing area.
CP2 scouting for some vision, not catching any bodies of Rolled out towards that A side. It is just the solo Cypher over onto A, as Rolled is going to keep most of their guns towards that B-C split.
And they're very heavily towards the BC side right now.
Oh, Adrenaline truly know where to run. CP2 launches on him and opens up the A site for Big Frames. It will be a quick rotate for Rolled, but this is such a tricky retake here for them. CP2 not going to find anybody there as Polly starts inching his way through heaven, gets a really smart kill through the smoke onto Winsome, just catching the edge of his body there. The slow orb will not deter him away from this angle. Meanwhile, Rolled pushing through this bottom corridor. Wow, just turn up too easy, letting loose onto Rolled, guns them all down. Now, Big Frames taking the lead. Really excellent stuff from CP2. I almost don't even know what to say. He's just been everywhere for Big Frames.
Yeah, and trying to retake A site is such a
hard
feat on this map. And you know, Orbital Strike was available. You know, he possibly could have cleared half the map while running in with that, but you know, hindsight's 20/20. You kind of want to save things, but there are quite a bit of ultimates available on the side of Rolled now.
The issue with A Haven is the same as A Bind, where your two options are a narrow corridor and Heaven. And neither of those are really favorable options for the defensive team to retake. So Rolled gonna have to do some thinking outside of the box as 2 kills roll in right away for Big Frames. Now Rolled in a tricky position, but their guns are right where Big Frames are going to be pushing, but Winsome is going to win some, getting around the corner. Rolled nothing doing on this round, going to just be Adrenaline left with the judge, trying to get an exit frag, but not much else he can do.
Yeah, and that was beautifully played from Big Frames, you know, using the utility again from Sova while Reyna runs in with it. And able to pick up that kill because they were unsuspecting. They just, you know, were trying to reload, and Winsome just waiting around corners to pick up that 3K there.
Fastest gun in the West is Winsome. You're not going to beat him on the draw. So far, Big Frames now 4 in a row after that quick 2-0 deficit. If you're Rolled, you have to kind of be wondering. We know Rolled to be a very strategic team, so you kind of have to be wondering, got to mix up the strategy a bit.
Most definitely. You gotta find something else that's working here. 2 operators might work though.
That is always a good start, is getting the 2 big guns on your side, but I don't think they're gonna be able to spot too much out this time. Big Frames not giving away any vision. Impulsive Street says, never mind, I'm gonna get the action started towards B. So now Rolled with the advantage, and Mizzou will get taken out by Winsome to even it up 4v4. The op still standing. Ollie. Oh, Winsome once again, the faster gun. What did I say? Fastest hand in the West. And now complete C control for Big Frames. Impulsive Street will want to use that res onto Han. He will try to find an edge here in this back corner, but these smokes really preventing any retake from Rolled to come through just yet.
And CP2 down to 10 health, so if anybody sneezes on him, he's gonna fall over.
A pistol bullet through a couple walls will be just enough.
Oh, most definitely. It looks like Rolled is gonna opt to save.
Yeah, no real option, no money in the bank, but 2 ops in hand. There's really nothing else you can do in that scenario. Meanwhile, if you're looking at Big Frames, they've basically got their retirement savings in the bank right now. They're set for life.
Oh, yeah. They're gonna be just fine.
Yeah, look how far they're hunting out for these kills. Han almost gets the drop onto Randy Savage. Randy Savage not gonna lose this one. He Nerfed will lose that one to Adrenaline, so a little bit of a trade there. But now the money is so light for Rolled. They do have 2 ops on their side, but nothing much else that they are able to buy.
Yeah, this is gonna be a tough round for them. They need those operator kills to come through early and to secure the sites. They need this round, actually. If they lose both these operators, they're going to be devastated, and they're gonna have to go a pistol round.
If they lose both of these operators, you might as well just call it a half for Big Frames. And if you're Rolled, you say, all right, we'll get them next half. So really a crucial round here for Rolled, not wanting to give too much away. Oh, Impulsive Street gets the action started onto Nerf. He has been so reliable with that op in the mid lane.
And just peeking the slightest.
The littlest sliver.
You will not kill my
Turn up
allies.
too easy will erase that kill for the cost of his ult. And now Big Frames looking for another way in. Rolled with a little more complete of a defense this time. Not as many advantages given. That Big Frames do consider the A push, but think better of it. I think this will be another C play for them, as there is only one body in the form of Adrenaline over onto C. Looks like Big Frames will be looking to take advantage of that. Adrenaline does get the drop onto turn up too easy. And now Big Frames really having to reconsider this strategy. They're going to try to nuke Adrenaline out of there, and they will be able to do so. Han getting the ult kill and then getting ult killed himself, trading out with Nerf. Impulsive Street wraps up the round onto CP2, and really you got to hand that round to Impulsive Street. Getting the opening kill, getting the closing kill.
Yeah, but I mean, Adrenaline, those 2 kills and 1 through the smoke?
Yeah.
That was huge.
Yeah,
And
Adrenaline,
picked himself up
really
another
heroic
op.
stuff on that C site. We said, you know, he's the lone man there, and it might be the advantage for Big Frames, but it turns out they had to use everything to get him out of there.
Yeah, and that was a crazy good flick with that operator because
Yeah.
the tech is to move quick across that corridor
Yep.
so you don't get opted. And he was just able to pull that off.
Yeah, followed him. Oh, this time won't work out quite as well. CP2 winning this particular sniper's duel. CP2 winning another duel, and now Rolled have no one left on A site. Big Frames able to take over, but they're actually going to cheekily rotate over. They have convinced Rolled that this is the play. Meanwhile, they can take their pick of sites for free. Winsome, a sneaky boy, gets the backstab onto Mizzou, isn't able to follow up with the double kill, but now Big Frames with complete control of this map as CP2 picks up his 3rd kill of the round.
Yeah, that was beautifully played from Big Frames with the fake out of
Yeah.
A. You got them all grouped up in the back because there's only really one way well, 2 ways to come through A, and that's Heaven in that tiny little corridor. So Randy Savage said, you don't get to keep that operator again.
Let you hold on to that for far too long, says Big Frames. Big Frames with a commanding 6-3 lead now, showing just how strong they are, making their own imprint into this tournament. And this is going to be all of the money in the bank here for Rolled. You see Han picking up the judge there with and Pauly
Not
on
a
the
bad gun to hold the garage with,
yeah.
you know?
Hey, I've gotten a double kill. I've gotten a triple kill with it. You know, it's definitely possible. Granted, I was playing silvers, but I don't think that's entirely important. CP2 getting a little jumpy over through mid B. Meanwhile, Han, does get the action started, justifying the judge buy. Meanwhile, Impulsive Street picks up another kill of his own, so that will be 5v3 in the favor of Rolled.
Great start from Rolled. They really needed that with this kind of half-5.
Oh, just the tip of his cap there. Impulsive Street. That's enough to get it done. Almost takes out Randy Savage. Randy Savage does get the drop on him to eventually put his kill streak to an end, but only 2 bodies left here for Big Frame. Make that 1 as Han picks up the op, says, all right, I did my work with the judge. Now let me have a real gun, please.
Thanks.
Revealing area.
Oh, Pauly, ever the clever corner holder. Randy Savage not able to get anything done there. Rolled, bringing it back to 4-6, but they don't have a lot of time left in this half. They're really going to have to make the most of these next 2 rounds.
Yeah, and that was really great for their economy, too. The remaining players were able to pick up better weapons and still hang on to the ops. And so that was really good on the side of Rolled here.
A round win like that can be all for nothing if you have to then spend what little money you had in the bank putting together a half buy, which can definitely be the case, but they are able to pick up those big guns from the bodies of Rolled, and Rolled now, or excuse me, from the bodies of Big Frames, and now Rolled with the momentum going into this 11th round. Winsome gonna be so aggressive, a long, and it doesn't matter what he's prepared for. He's able to adjust, gets the drop onto Pauly, takes him out for as well. Takes 2 souls for the taking, and now Big Frames with complete control of the map as Randy Savage catches Han out on the rotate. Rolled going to have to simply walk away from this one, and this is just what we were saying. You know, that round win means nothing if it just all goes to waste the next round.
Absolutely, and Winsome being on a character like Reyna makes a lot of sense because she is future man and he is known to go in and get the picks, which makes her such a deadly character.
Absolutely. I mean, we definitely saw him on the Rays in the semifinals just being not afraid to stick his nose into other people's business, just getting face first in the enemy. So it does definitely make sense to have him on a character like Reyna, who can kind of just run and gun and live infinitely if done correctly. So Adrenaline gets spotted here, but is able to win the duel against CP2. Turn up too easy, finally finishes him off, but Big Frames set up here to possibly go 8-4 into the second half.
So, I mean, we have some decent buys on the side of Rolled this time, though.
Yeah,
so it's not
I mean,
too
last
bad.
round, so everything's going to get spent. They do have the double ops that they were able to save over from last round, so that definitely helps a great deal. Impulsive Street once again taking up that position in mid B, but they've learned better to not challenge him there as he is ever reliable. Looks like Big Frames will try to look at an A push. The rotate will come out for Rolled just a bit as they check it out, but both teams playing this extremely tight-fisted, not wanting to give anything away. The flank not working out for Han. He was so deep into enemy territory. Randy Savage so sneakily up onto Adrenaline. I don't think Adrenaline knows he's there, and he definitely knows he's there now. Randy Savage is going to know where everyone is now. Rolled in a really tricky 5v3.
Yeah, I mean, Han had such a good flank of his own, and he saw him first.
Yeah.
That's the crazy part, but he just lost to the operator.
Oh, Winsome says, hello, I'll take you out as well. Almost gets the triple as well, but Impulsive Street simply too quick. He is the last guy standing for Rolled, and nothing you can do there. Big Frames going up 8-4 in the first half. A really excellent performance to start game one of the grand finals of the Valorant Sunday Showdown.
Absolutely. Big Frames just making big moves and making a name for themselves and showing that they're, you know, they're one to place themselves on that leaderboard that we got going on here.
Yeah, absolutely. Rolled, I believe, ranked number 3 on the Valorant Sunday Showdown leaderboard, but the team that Big Frames took out to get here, Destined, is number 1 on that leaderboard. So I'm sure Big Frames will not be intimidated by any sort of ranking information. Getting here into the start of the second half, Winsome, ever aggressive, just chomping at the bit to push mid. And 3 members of Big Frames rush out immediately to meet a confrontation that simply isn't there. Turn up too easy, getting the action started, forced to back off and heal himself. Winsome pushes through window, gets the first kill of the round, and now Rolled really have to adjust to figure out where he's gonna go next. He will back off and try to play the site as Big Frames put themselves in a much favorable position to get this round started. Ollie trying to get some information here, trying to get some cheeky damage. Winsome again with a kill mid. They really cannot contest him this round there. Turn up too easy, sneakily finding his way around B long, thinks better of it, just going to hang back for the push. Rolled now really need to get a frag to get things going, and Han will get a kill onto Nerfed. Is it enough? Han will back off garage, not going to give himself away there quite yet. Winsome going hunting, just catches the edge of his leg there and says, I'm going to go after Han. Han completely unaware that this is coming back around. If Winsome is fast enough, he can catch him completely out of position and is able to do so for his 3rd kill of the round. Meanwhile, Rolled will take it to C site. They do get the spike eventually planted onto the site. Ollie does take out CP2 to make this a 3v2, but the health bars of Rolled not looking so healthy. Oh, Ollie trying to get the spray through the leer, does land it. Turn up too easy, the last man standing for Big Frames, but he does have the health bar advantage there. Just needs to get one more shot down onto Pauly. Pauly being so tricky, but it's not quite enough. Turn up too easy, comes out on top, but what a valiant effort from Rolled. I really have to hand it to them. That was really smartly played.
Yeah, I mean, it looked just daunting in the beginning there, and they somehow managed to pull the kills back out and almost really clutch that one out.
All handed over to Winsome, going all out for the HyperX MVP of the match. A reminder, the winner of that award does get a free HyperX Cloud Stinger Core headset sent directly to their house. And I think that's just a little extra motivation for Winsome to just push through these barriers and start picking up frags.
Absolutely.
Turn up too easy. The lone member of Big Frames here towards C. Looks like he's gonna get the wall down, so will defer any push that they have. Rolled leaving the spike behind for now, just trying to get maybe a kill advantage before they pick that up. CP2 spots out Winsome, but not able to do any damage on him. We'll see how this plays out. Winsome again getting the opening frag onto Han. Ever reliable is he. Now Rolled trying to make something happen here towards A site, but the entirety of Big Frames is there to meet them. Adrenaline gets a frenzy kill, but he gives himself away for Nerf to pick up a double kill. And now Big Frames in a very comfortable 4v2. Pauly will spot out that there's no one here on C, so Impulsive Street does have this opportunity, but this would be a very tough hold from the side of Rolled.
When he hears them coming around that corner.
Oh, he gets the first and he gets the second! Absolutely nutty from Pauly, picking up the triple kill. No rifle required. I can't believe it. And now this round gets turned absolutely on its head. Nerf, the last remaining member of Big Frames, going to have to do something specially heroic here.
And they walled him off.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to know exactly where he's coming from.
I wonder where he's coming from. Gonna give himself a bit of a boost. Going to take the slow as well, pushing through with the SMG. They're not here to shoot him down, but there they go with the crossfire. Pauly picking up an absolutely insane 4K. Chat, come on, clip that.
I clip that, definitely.
I can't believe it.
Pulled that one out for his team by himself.
Yeah, I mean, such clever positioning for him to be in that corner, and
yeah, to walk out of the C site while your partner you know plants that. I mean, it gives you the element of surprise, and they were not expecting him.
Yeah, I mean, I was watching him set up, and I was thinking, that's insanely aggressive for him to do, but that's exactly what you need in that type of position. And then to be able to convert on the kills as well is very impressive. Now Rolled with a little bit of momentum back their way. Oh, Mizzou does get taken out there mid lane. Getting a little too aggressive, and look how pushed up Big Frames are. They are on the save, but turn up too easy doesn't matter for him. He will get the kill on the Pauly. Turn up too easy, finally getting taken out. Big Frames able to get a couple cheeky frags, but it looks like this will be another round in the way of Rolled.
Yeah, that was a kill with a classic. I mean, they just line those shots up beautifully to get that kill.
Yeah, I think actually it's kind of interesting to think about, but I think the crosshair style that he has chosen actually really aids that kind of aim. He was really able to see where his shots were landing. You see some players with kind of big barred crosshairs, and I think that kind of prevents them from adjusting their aim. These guys, of course, are akin to professionals, so not making that simple mistake. Rolled, bringing back the momentum, putting Big Frames back on the back foot. Big Frames do have a full buy here, and they're going to start doing some damage, but they will take damage of their own as Winsome, their top fragger, goes down first. The aggression not paying off this time around.
Yeah, great start from Rolled. Still taking their time. Looks like they may be going in for a B plant. Ooh, good kill from Han on to Randy Savage. Really open that up. Wall will go down. And this should be a pretty safe plant. They do have to worry about CP2 with the operator at the back, which they don't know is there, but he did miss the shot.
Oh, he was so close, and now he's found out. It's going to be so much harder for him to do anything. Just has to get the heck out of there. I don't see Big Frames taking this one back. I think they're just going to have to hold on the guns. No money in the bank. They can't afford to drop these.
Yeah, so this will be brought within 2 now after what we saw was a little bit of a run away from Big Frames.
Yeah, absolutely, showing that the defensive side not always going to pay off. So yeah, Big Frames just holding back here, not doing anything too crazy. Rolled going out on a hunting party, not gonna find too much except the end of CP2's barrel. Does get the final kill of the round there for a little cherry on top of the loss.
Yeah, I mean, look at the economy of the side of Rolled though. It's kind of flourishing aside from Adrenaline, who just got opt.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, Big Frames are going to need to take this round and then the next round and then possibly the next round if they want to make a dent in Rolled's economy. So they basically have to take it to match point to really put Rolled back on a save. Winsome again being so aggressive towards mid. We haven't seen it pay off the last couple rounds, but he's still undeterred, taking up this aggro corner here, waiting for a push that I don't think is going to come just yet.
I mean, he's playing true to the character of Reyna.
That is definitely true, yeah. And that's why we're not seeing him on a Sage or a Sova. He's not trying to, you know, play back and gather information. He's just trying to get kills.
Yeah, and you can see there's only Randy Savage holding the A site, which seems to be where they would like to push right now. But there is a rotate coming over from Nerfed.
Yeah, it's a little too slow from Rolled here. The execute not coming out quite quick enough to catch Big Frames completely off guard. They will still be able to get down onto site, and they will be able to take out Nerfed as well. So they will have control here, and now Big Frames are in an awkward position to try to retake A.
Oh, and the wall does come down too, so it's going to even deter them even longer. Reyna ult is popped.
Prepare for hellfire.
Here comes the orbital delay as well. Han picking up a triple kill. CP2 thinks better of it and does just get out of there with his life. Rolled bringing it within 1, showing that they are a high caliber team that's not going to just roll over.
Shot done.
Oh, Paulie, don't do it again.
Oh, CP2 is so quick. Oh, if he hadn't been backstabbed there, might have been able to win that particular duel. Unfortunately, not able to hold onto the op, but Rolled has so much money in the bank here, whereas Big Frames, I'm not sure what they're going to be able to put together this round. They've got a couple of players ready for a full buy, but the rest of the team not ready to move on to the Vandals or Phantoms quite yet.
Yeah, and that's where that hunt down came from. They knew that they were in a position to lose a body or two if it didn't work out, but they wanted to just take that 4,500 right out of their bank.
Winsome once again pushing through B mid,
Yeah,
changing
no
up.
coverage, no nothing.
Yeah, gets spotted out for his trouble, so he's gonna have to rethink it. His teammate goes down, he goes down. The aggression not paying off this half for Winsome. I think they're gonna have to mix up their approach here if they want to get him back to full effectiveness. CP2 doesn't spot anybody mid quite just yet, but that's where, or excuse me, C long, and that's where Rolled seem to be amassing here as Han opens up garage. CP2 with the response here, gets the Phantom. Oh, doesn't hold down the spray quite well enough. Paulie will take him out, and now Rolled full advantage of the C site. This is going to be 9-9 for Rolled, bringing it back from a huge deficit. Really impressive stuff.
Absolutely. It's just that mental flip after that second half. Sometimes it takes a team just a little bit longer to get going, and then once you start, you don't stop. And,
Yeah.
And we're seeing that now from Rolled.
I mean, you don't want to speculate too much, but it could have been possible that Big Frames, coming off of a win, off of a strong team, and then gets a really strong lead, it's possible they sat back, you know?
Yeah, it
And,
gets to your head.
and it doesn't even have to be anything they said. It's not like they're saying on comms, all right, let's take these next rounds less seriously. It's just a mindset kind of thing where you let yourself, you know,
You get lax.
yeah, you get into a false sense of security, and then all of a sudden it's 9-9, and you've lost the last 5 rounds in a row. So that can be a really, really tricky turnaround. Full buys on both teams here to try and break the tie. Winsome, again, going through B mid. He will hold back a little further this time. I'm not really sure about going there every round, but I do trust Winsome to be a pretty good player, so I won't judge too harshly. CP2 with a rather easy kill onto Polly to get it started for Big Frames. That may be what they need to get their heads back into this game. Han does get spotted out, but is able to escape. Rolled not fully together for any sort of push, and Winsome taking advantage of how spread out they are, and now the spike is in a completely exposed position.
Yeah, it's gonna. Well,
I have the spike.
they retrieved it now. There's just 2 players left. This is 2v5. It's gonna be hard either way.
Yeah, Big Frames finally getting a foothold back into the second half after dropping 5 in a row. Really important win for them and a really important opening kill there from CP2.
And both players are still pretty spread out, but it looks like A is going to be the play. They will hit a tripwire before they get to Randy.
I don't even know if you can go for a push here. I almost think you just sit back and feel lucky that 2 of you are alive. They do have a lot of money in the bank, so I guess I can understand going for a hero play. And Han is heroic thus far, getting the wall bang headshot onto Randy Savage, and does have the spike as well to follow up before anybody from Big Frames has anything to say about it. Winsome pushing out. The orbital will go down, and he does get the spike plant as well. Absolutely incredible play from Nerf. Absolutely godlike timing on the orbital.
I'm surprised he didn't get that spike down.
I
I feel like
couldn't
he started
believe
it
that.
forever ago.
I couldn't believe he didn't get that spike down. Maybe he
Pulled up off of it?
Yeah, that's the only thing I can think of is he got spooked by the footsteps he's hearing. But I think when you're hearing those footsteps, you hold fort even harder. You push down and please, you beg it, go faster, go faster. Pulling back, not the play there. And Big Frames once again takes the lead, albeit by 1 round only, where in a game where they've had a lead as many as 5. CP2 takes some damage mid lane. Not the quickest man on the map this time around. Let's see how Rolled responds. They respond with a kill onto Randy Savage, and now this is Rolled's map, and they can choose where to go. They forced the rotate from Big Frames onto A, but that's not where the spike is quite just yet.
And they may want to rethink it. I mean, there's still a person over at C, still a person over at B, so it wasn't like a complete full rotation.
Not getting caught out quite just yet. A long Nerf, though, will get the party started onto Polly, and this forces the push from Rolled, and they will pay for it dearly as Winsome is able to pick up a kill from Heaven.
And what started as something really great for Rolled, getting that first pick, just
fell apart completely. Yeah, they had A site in the palm of their hand, and then they picked up the spike, and they all shift walked towards long, and then stood there. Yeah. It's really like, I mean, of course, when you're playing the game, you don't see everyone on the map like we do, and so you can't be sure, like, when you're considering that push, if there is or isn't 3 guys from Big Frames just waiting for you there. But sometimes you gotta just pull the trigger, I think, especially when you get the opening kill, you gotta go. So, Rolled now in danger of letting it slip to match point in favor of Big Frames. Big Frames making a big statement in their first VSS.
Hunter's Fury comes out to clear out the garage.
Yeah, no one's spotted just yet, so no one's gonna get sniped quite yet, but Rolled are committing very heavily towards this B site as Han gets the rocket launcher entry frag with adrenaline to back him up. This is B site in control for Rolled.
Great positioning for Han as well.
Really smart opening frag there from Han. Really good play as well. I think this might be the only time they've taken it B this half, actually. So definitely not expecting Big Frames to have predicted that push. So
Yeah, Winsome didn't hold the cubby.
yeah, he did. That's actually, yeah, it's a really good point. Yeah, wasn't there in the cubby. So what are you going to do? So Big Frames, of course, backing off here. Happy to maybe not happy, but they will let this round go to Roll just to save some guns and money on their side. They will maintain the lead, but this looks much more doable for the side of Rolled.
We hear the moon boots.
Almost a close meeting of the minds, but it wasn't to be quite just yet. And now looking over at the economy of both teams is very sketchy. You know, both teams have one guy with a lot of cash, and then everybody else is kind of on their last leg.
Yeah. And Rolled had such a big bank account, and then it just takes a couple of losses, 2 losses in a row, and then all of a sudden your money's all gone. I mean, they did make some expensive purchases.
Oh, CP2
Wow.
takes some damage through the wall, but pushes right through it to get the kill onto Han, forces the ult from Impulsive Street. What gutsy play there.
I mean, running out of a garage with an op.
While taking damage through the doors. Not something I would have the heart to do. I would have taken that first bullet of damage and said, okay, no, I'm going back. I don't want that smoke. I don't want it.
Who runs that garage
But
doors with an op?
he pushed it regardless. I'm surprised that maybe Winsome took control for that one.
I
Not
don't know.
sure what happened there. He's like, CP2, you know what I do? Just push it. Just push it.
push it.
But I have an op. He said, no, it's fine. Just push it. They won't see it coming.
They never saw it coming.
Yeah. You got it. So Big Frames here with the retake, but Adrenaline mowing them down and has Polly for backup. Nothing doing for the side of Big Frames on this one. Rolled even at back up 11-11. We very may well go to overtime on this one.
And with that res that came through all 5 players too, so the economy is going to be a lot better going into this, the final rounds here.
Yeah.
Tied up 11-11.
Oh, CP2 not having the crosshair exactly where he wanted to be. Wow, I can't believe it. CP2 stays alive against all odds. Big Frames here able to get some guns down on their side. They do have the bank of CP2 to back them up financially should they need it, so they will at least be somewhat comfortable for the rest of this game. But you look at Rolled, they have the full buy, full utility, full banks practically. Rolled feeling comfortable to take this to a 12-11. Rolled playing spread out here. They are peeking towards A and making noise, so they have given away some of their strategy here. CP2 with a tricky angle might be able to catch someone out. Oh, Mizzou gets the action started. A long. CP2 does get the revenge kill, so Rolled will be forced to back off here, but both teams giving away kind of big pieces of their comp.
And that Cypher's died in that same spot to that same player twice.
Yeah, that's very true. CP2's drone dies for nothing. Nerfed isn't able to follow up on the information. Turn up too easy, will get traded out for Han. Hellfire goes down, takes out CP2, nowhere to run. I'm sure he's heard that before. This all comes down to Winsome if he doesn't want this match to slip away to match point. Oh, that's so tough. No other option but to gun that wall down. He will leer onto the site, not able to spot out anyone. Impulsive Street smartly playing the corners, able to take Roll to match point. What an amazing performance from them thus far, having been down, I believe, 9-4 at the start of this hat, bringing it back to 12-11. This is Big Frames' last chance to force a overtime.
Yeah, and they got the operator in the hands of CP2 again, who has been putting up some big plays with that operator. So, I mean, that's a good start. It was able, it's a full buy, so full buy, full armor on both sides. But, I mean, if Big Frame loses this round, they're going, I mean, it's over with anyways. But, yeah, it's you got to start feeling a little worried
Yeah,
right
this is
now.
very all or nothing. A very tense moment for both teams indeed. Mizzou gets the action started out on to turn up too easy. CB2 almost with the no-scope double kill, but Mizzou is too quick for him that time. Big Frames will have to retake here, but oh my gosh, they're getting absolutely slaughtered by Rolled. It is still just a 3v1. Randy Savage, the man with the world on his shoulders.
Yeah, with no choice but to go in, it's match point.
Do or die. Oh no, gets spotted out by the camera, so no sneaky moves this time. Very close to being caught out, does make his way onto site. Rolled has so much backup available, does catch out the enemy Cypher, does get the ult as well, so he will get to see where everyone else is, but he's running out of time. Here comes the Hunter's Fury to start shredding away his health. Not much he can do here. Turns back towards CT like, nothing to back me up. Not able to get it done. I don't
He's
think
just gonna
Rolled
look away.
Rolled will wrap it up 13-11. Absolutely monstrous performance from them. I can't speak highly enough of them. I mean, what an absolute godlike performance to be down 9-4 and still dominate the second half in such a way.
No, absolutely. Like I said, it's just some teams it takes a little bit to get going, but also like you mentioned earlier, we're 8 hours into this tournament. This is mental capacity that's pulling through for these players, and Rolled being the veterans to the VSS, they've made it this far. They've played this long many a time. So
and like I said, you don't want to speculate too much, but you do have to wonder if Big Frames let off the gas when they had that lead, because like you said, it's been a long day. At some point, you got to let off the gas. You can't floor it the whole day through, so you really can't blame them for it. But that works out to their detriment this time. So Big Frames with it all to do going into game 2. This is a best of 3. So if Rolled is able to wrap up this next round, that will be GG's for today. We'll see what map we end up tricking out onto. I would believe it would be Haven if I had to guess, but like I said, I would love to see a split or ascent. Just mix it up, Be that team that picks up Nuke, be the Mavericks, not follow what everyone else is doing, but it's also not totally unreasonable to practice all the maps that everyone else is practicing.
yeah, no, absolutely. And do you think Winsome is going to stick with the Reyna or go back to the Raze?
That's a really good question. I think if we go to Bind, because we were just on Haven, as I had not previously pointed out, if we do go over to Bind, I think he would switch over to the Raze. Actually,
The Raze?
I think it's so important when. If you think about from a defender's side, if you have the Raze on A site, if you hear footsteps A short or bathrooms, you can throw a grenade into either of those places and do so much damage. And again on A site, you think about the plays that Winsome made popping over U-Haul with his satchel and having that rocket launcher ready to go. That's just, there's so much opportunity there that I think
utilities are great.
Yeah, it would be really hard to turn away from the Raze on that map. I can understand the Reyna more so on Haven because there really isn't the tight corridor opportunity that Bind offers. If you think about, hookah, you think about A short, you think about bathrooms. These are all close enclosed spaces where those grenades are going to do so much. You don't really have that available too on Haven. You have more wide open, kind of open air areas. So the Reyna makes a lot more sense, I think, from a duelist point of view. So I would expect Winsome to pick the Raze back up, but we will definitely have to see.
Like what map it is. I feel like on Ascent, Reyna might make a little more sense.
Yeah.
Only because she's got so much area to play with her invisibility.
Yeah.
You just never know which way to look, when she's out and about, and you're just like, oh crap.
Ascent's such a weird map because it does feel a bit claustrophobic with you don't have the long corridors to opt down. You don't have the long like on Haven you have C long, and A long. You don't really have that anywhere on Ascent except mid. And so but you still don't have the tight compact spaces like you do on Bind for that Reyna to really pop off on. The corridors are wider despite being shorter, so she has to be a lot more concise with where those grenades and where those rocket launchers are dropping. So I think you would see the Reyna on Ascent, but you'd see the Raze on Bind.
On Bind. And what about Split?
Yeah, what about Split?
Yeah, because we're never gonna see it.
What about Split? I've never seen the map in my life.
What?
I don't think it exists anymore. I don't believe in it. What about Split? I mean, I say this so much that, like I said, prior to us getting started with semifinals, Split is just a meme for us at this point. It's like, you gonna take Split? Probably not. Haha.
And teams, if you're listening in, if you want to pick Split just for us, that'd be great.
At this point, I don't even know. Too bad like CS:GO skins aren't really valuable anymore. I would give someone like all of my CS:GO skins if they can win on Split, because you would win on Split if you practiced it once and then took a team there. You probably win it because they'd be like, I don't know what's going on here. It turns out, plot twist of plot twist, we're actually going to be getting into Ascent for Game 2. Completely unexpected
Not
from my
Bind.
end. Yeah, I would have solidly expected Bind to be picked second, but a little bit of a mix-up here from Big Frames, wanting to make put a wrench in the tank that is rolled, try to stop them from rolling on. Again, chat, excuse my puns, but just so easy. So we are going to be checking out Ascent here, a very difficult map in my opinion. A site is again very tough, as it is on Bind, as it is on Haven. You only have Heaven, you only have that tight corridor to push through as defenders. And what's interesting about Ascent is every map has a chance for the CTs to rotate safely out of sight of the attackers, except for Ascent. Ascent has that open mid lane that the CTs, if they're going from A to B, are likely to pass through. And if you have an Opper watching mid, it's going to be a really tricky thing to escape from. So I'd definitely be interested to see how teams get set up, how the attackers get set up on B site. I think it's a really, really interesting site with how it's like, it's kind of its own thing. Like, it's not really like, I don't want to say it's not part of the map, but it's its own area. It's so isolated from the rest of the map there. So getting into round one
Right
here.
there.
Oh, and so, yeah, we have Winsome on the breach getting pointed out to me, completely mixing it up. This is the third character we've seen on Winsome. Definitely has to be the most characters I think we've seen on anyone through a VSS. I think usually players will stick to one character, maybe two, to mix it up between maps.
I know Ziff has like mixed it up a couple times
Yeah,
on us. But
Ziff's
yeah,
been on like the Jet before and the Raze.
Yeah, he said, you're both wrong. I'm going breach. Like,
can he hear us? So I love to see it. I love to see the mix up here. But other than that, the team comps looking fairly standard. Rolled are bringing out an Omen for this time around. But both teams are rocking a Sage, which I didn't really expect to ever comment on until Destined went without the Sage in semifinals, which was very impressive to me.
and no Brimstone on the side of Rolled. So no,
oh, yeah,
no
great
smokes,
point.
but Omen's smokes, you know, since he did get that where it refreshes like every 15 seconds, I mean, he's got plenty of them to block sites and everything. And then plus you have your Cypher cages. So, you know, I feel like Brim smokes, they're not as important as they used to be.
Yeah.
As people got more comfortable using the Cypher cages and the Omen smokes, and you know, even Viper getting that buff, I'm honestly surprised that we still haven't seen one.
Yeah, that's interesting. I don't really like playing against Viper, so I'm kind of surprised that people haven't brought her out more. I think Viper's really tough to deal with when she pops that ult. Because, I mean, for example, if you're on the attacking team, you get the spike planted, and then Viper pops her ult right there.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, well, I either got to push through, like, what is essentially molly damage.
Hit the orbital button.
Yeah, respond with orbital button. One thing I would really like to see come out from this game, I've heard this has been suggested on the r/Valorant subreddit, seeing some elemental counters. So, for example, when Brimstone's Molly goes down, if you toss a Sage Ice Orb on top of it, it's a similar idea to what we see in CS:GO. And of course, Valorant doesn't have to copy CS:GO in every single way, but you can in CS:GO, if someone throws a Molly, you can pop the smoke on top of it, and that extinguishes it. So it's a really nice counter. It still costs something. You still have to spend some sort of utility to get it off. So I think it's a fair trade.
Yeah.
But we haven't seen that quite yet, and it would be a pretty big adjustment to the game for them to add that just now. So I'm not exactly, I'm not sure if we'll see that. We are just getting everybody in. We had to reload quickly into the map, but
We're
it
trying
will
to kill
still.
time and make you guys not notice, but somebody did DC, so
And you can let me talk forever.
No.
It's pretty easy. I've got a
just
lot of
trying
stuff to
sneak
talk
this
about.
conversation in here.
I don't, I could talk for talk Valorant, for maybe a few more hours, and then we'll start getting into other games. I'm sure we'll start asking chat what kind of games they play. But thankfully, I don't think we have to wait that long. But
So what do you think of the new element Fragile being introduced into Valorant? So, the Viper, the spit that comes out, you get Fragile and you take double damage now.
Yeah.
So it really makes you think twice about running through it.
yeah,
But also,
because I was never deterred by the Viper.
yeah, people would
gas
just
before
run
that,
over
yeah.
it. I don't care, whatever.
And it's
just-
not very big, so it's pretty easy to get around as well. Like,
Yeah.
it's like I'll sidestep 2 feet. But I don't know how I feel about it, to be honest. Because I draw a lot of my knowledge from what we see here. B, because, and we haven't seen a Viper, but B, because I think it's the right direction for a Viper. But I worry about there not being much counterplay to that, because it's not like I can give a teammate more armor. It's not like I can I can heal them, and Reyna could overheal herself to a point where that it lessens the detriment of Fragile. But I don't know, I haven't really seen it been put into action too much. But my first real kind of thought of it is who cares? It's still Viper.
I feel like they're trying to give her something to make her more viable, because she isn't played often, as we can see here. Even though her smokes do provide a one-way wall, because they're not something that has to land like Brimstone. She can actually place it where she wants it and create those one-ways.
Yeah.
And I think she's pretty versatile. She's got a wall, and the wall will now actually cut across the map. They actually increase that. So, they're giving her the necessary buffs, I feel, to make her playable. And I really hope that we do see a lot more of her as well. I feel like there's too few characters to already have, the only ones that get played.
Well, it's actually funny you say that, because getting into the Valorant competitive scene after having played all the beta, like all through the beta and things, I fully expected when we got into the full swing of competitive and in the Valorant Sunday Showdown, I fully expected Phoenix to be much more of a mainstay, which shows how much I know. But I think his flashes and I think his wall is so good. So anyways, getting into this match, Nerfed does start the action over onto Poly towards A site. Rolled are playing still very careful, pulling the spike away from that site, as they are down to 4 men here. But they might be able to catch out a member of Big Frames on the rotate. Mizzou ever sneakily creeping his way up, does spot out Big Frames, but takes the lesser end of the deal. Adrenaline does get the follow-up onto Winsome. The character change for Winsome not paying out thus far. Randy Savage does get the follow-up there. Nerf does go down to Han. Now a 3v2 for Big Frames. This is a tough place to hold with just 2 members there, and turn up too easy, enforcing that fact as Han gets caught out of position there. 3v1 for Big Frames.
And Impulse is not even going to drop that spike. He's going to try to get some kills here.
Yeah, this is the play he has to make, and an excellent start to doing so, but he knows as soon as that spike goes down, he's telegraphed his whole location to the whole server. Impulsive Street, though, evening it up to 1v1 isn't able to complete the 3K, but wow, what a play nonetheless. Really impressive stuff there from Impulsive Street, but Big Frames all too succinct for Rolled to handle on this occasion.
Yeah, I was rooting for that clutch out. That would have been insane.
That would have been really nutty.
I mean, great job by Impulsive either way. I mean, he played that beautifully with, you know, don't plan it, just sneakily
Don't be
go
collided.
around.
Don't get
Yeah.
collided with your teammate. The big, you know, plus point there. So now Rolled on a full save. Looks like they'll make an aggressive play towards A. Turn up too easy. Getting some damage down A long and will back away. I don't think Big Frames have yet committed to any kind of rotate here, so this is an opportunity for Roll to get out of the sight, but turn up too easy, getting 2, getting 3. So strong is the Bulldog in the second round. Adrenaline will finally finish him off, but Winsome gets one of his own, and now it is just one guy left from Rolled, and he will go down. A valiant effort from Rolled, but turn up too easy makes it look too easy with the Bulldog.
Yeah, that strong showing from that Bulldog
Yeah.
there. It's very powerful.
I think it's such a good buy in the second round. It's actually my favorite gun to get on, you know, you wouldn't get it on a save, but on a half buy, you know.
Yeah, and it's a good one to go into the third round, too.
Yeah, absolutely. I much prefer it over any of the SMGs, specifically for its tapping power, because the spray gets wild with the Bulldog so fast. You spray for like 0.02 seconds and all of a sudden, you know, it's a full rain shower of bullets. So it's not effective in that regard. But when you're tap trading with the SMGs at mid distance, it's going to win out every time you've got the aim. So Rolled having to reconsider this third round after turn up too easy did take them out in the previous round. They do set themselves up for mid control, so they give themselves the selection of either side. Meanwhile, turn up too easy is going to think about trading with Han and has to. Han forces out the heal. He is still peeking so aggressively out of A long, trying to get that first kill over towards A. Big Frames starting the slow rotate towards A as Rolled commit more and more to this site.
Found them.
Vision will be spotted out by the Sova, and it looks like the rotate on over to B will slowly take place.
Yeah, Han not able to get the advantage he might have wanted there over on A. He was being so aggressive, but not overly so. So they will start making this B play, but they are going to run into the gun of CP2, and that's not a place you want to be. Oh my goodness, I thought he might go for the no-scope. Does get traded out by Impulsive Street, but now Big Frames know where they're going, and Randy Savage can capitalize. They Rolled will still be able to get the bomb down, it looks like, as time ticks down. Polly almost gets the angle there, not able to hold down the spray quite enough, but Adrenaline gets a revenge 2 kills. Oh, Han with a big spray onto Randy Savage, and now looking very doable for Rolled.
Yeah, that 9 health wasn't going to do a whole lot.
Rarely does. And so Rolled claw their way back after a tough 2 opening rounds, but of course not counting them out, as this is exactly the same start that we saw in the first round.
Yeah, no. Absolutely. And, you know, being the second map kind of makes me wonder who picked it.
I think it had to have been Big Frames. I think this is kind of, you know, I compare Split to Nuke, but I think this is kind of their Nuke, where this is looks like something that they're comfortable playing. They so far are moving pretty comfortably around the map. They know how to establish themselves in the mid control. So in that regard, Han looking even more comfortable on A side as he picks up a double kill. Mizzou does go down on the other side of the map, but still an advantage there, and Winsome forced out by Han's grenade. Han going absolutely nuts on the A side. Oh no, don't do it to him, Han. Oh, so close to getting that peak, but playing too safely as Big Frames. Nerfed will eventually go down in that corner, and now it is all to do for Adrenaline.
Yeah, Han seems very comfortable with that A play.
Yeah, I mean, just think about how gutsy he's being, just revealing himself. No problem at all. Pauly will finish up the round, rolled evening it up on the side of the attackers. And now not a lot of money left for Big Frames. They will be able to get the op in the hands of CP2. Definitely an important development for them. But this is very much a do or die round here. If they drop this one, this half could start to slip from their control.
And we've seen what that
Eyes
can
on
do
target.
to a team. You don't want Rolled running away with games here.
Revealing area.
We've seen their comeback capabilities, so I mean, Big Frames definitely don't want to hand anything over to Rolled for free.
Yeah, that's actually a kind of interesting point you bring up. Is a lot of these teams that make it to the grand finals, at some point we see them having to overcome a decent round deficit. I mean, just last game for Rolled was they had to overcome a 6-round deficit. I don't think Big Frames has been tested in such a manner in any of the stream matches. Of course, it could have happened in a match that we didn't catch, online, but so far they've really had solid control, not letting their deficits get to more than 2-3 rounds at most. So that could be a tough thing for them to overcome, especially as they haven't had to deal with it that much thus
You
far.
will not kill my allies.
An impulsive presence, Pauly. Immediately taken
Nerfed
out,
with the orbital
though.
response, going alt for alt there. 2 X's on the map, both belonging to Nerfed. Not
His
a great
poor
feeling.
KDA.
Yeah, just stacking deaths there. Nerfed with an excellent response there, really slowing Rolled down. 26 seconds left. Not too much for Rolled to do other than try and take this B site. Oh, Winsome almost making the big play there, but will get taken out mid. And now this looking very much like Rolled's site. They will take out the last defender of B site, and now it's just 2 left for Big Frames. No way to retake this one. They do burn the ult for Han, so that is some comfort knowing that rocket launcher won't be peeking around the corner
Yeah.
next round.
Definitely, and you know what? Why not? Why not just say, "Hey, listen,
Secure it.
you can back off, or you can see this rocket."
I think it's an important distinction to make when you understand that your opponent has a full buy. You know, any 2 players with a full buy can do crazy things, and so it's really, really smart from Han to make that announcement to the map saying, "Hey, I've got a big boomstick." So Big Frames forced to save their last 2 guns this round, but they will try to play safely here over towards A long. Don't think they'll get quite spotted out unless they do something ridiculously crazy. Yeah, not too much happening there. So Rolled taking 3 in a row, coming back from a 2-0 deficit, and now Big Frames have to recollect themselves and get the momentum back under their feet, but they're not able to they will get a full buy minus the full armor onto CP2, and they will get full guns back in the hands of Nerfed and Winsome, so they do have a chance to even it back up. But you have to imagine this is quite the do or die round for them.
Oh, absolutely.
Bomb buddy out.
Han again making his peek towards A long. We know that's where he likes to stay. So far uncontested, nothing going to trouble him there thus far.
Satchel out.
I mean, someone's got to do it, right? Someone's got to make the noise over at A while the rest of your team goes around. Race is the perfect one at making noise.
Yeah, she has big noisemakers on her side, but Rolled not committing anywhere with the spike just yet, just now picking it up. So it looks like this will be a very delayed push, but Big Frames are ready for either eventuality, be it A or B.
Area.
Yeah, they're playing this
Take
one
flight.
really slow compared to the last couple rounds. Changing the pace, probably a mind game, waiting to kind of burst in on them.
Well, Big Frames do have the adjustment here, but it doesn't really matter too much to Han, as he will get the opening frag onto Randy Savage, giving Rolled the control of the site. Han picking up his 2nd kill onto Nerf. Absolutely nutty stuff from him thus far in this map. 3 members left for Big Frames. The heal will come out.
You will not kill my
Ooh,
So does
and the
the
res
res.
as well, so giving themselves the best shot to not let the economy swing too far away from them. Turn up too easy with absolutely insane frags.
Revealing
Han
area.
will get his third, but it will eventually get taken out by Winsome, but it is just Polly remaining to see what he can do. Turn up too easy with a sliver of health, I think is going to be able to stick this defuse, and Winsome finishes Polly off. Big Frames getting back into the match.
That's crazy, calculating that. I mean, I don't know if that was calculated that he would survive that, but
yeah.
I mean, he went in as if he did.
He-
19 health.
He's like, I'll take approximately 81 damage from this Hunter's Fury, so I definitely wouldn't put it past Turn Up Too Easy to have that calculated. The guy has been playing absolutely bonkers today, but they win the do or die round. We were saying, like, economy-wise, if they lose that one, it's back to pistols, but they hold on to the big guns for now. Rolled able to respond with a full buy of their own as well, but Big Frames keeping themselves within contention of the half.
Noman does have the ultimate ready. He could pull something pretty crazy out with all these tiny corridors.
Yeah, there's a lot of little tricky spaces for Omen to go, but it is tough to make an entrance as Big Frames have a really, really succinct hold on the map right now with how they're spread. There's not many safe areas for Roll to push into quite yet.
Barrier created.
Mizzou gets himself perched up onto that mid gateway. Don't think he spots out Winsome, and he will take the flash there, but he's still quite happy to sit there. Finally spots out Winsome there, trades out Han for the trouble.
That was a short teleport.
I was hoping you might know why he did that. I wasn't gonna, because I thought, like, if I said that was interesting, maybe chat would be like, well, obviously he did it for these reasons.
Yeah,
but
I think maybe he meant to go in the cubby to bypass the back view, the back hallway.
yeah.
So I think he actually meant to go closer to the door.
So
happens,
the
you know?
teleport not working out for the side of Rolled, but they still have 2 members left on this site. Meanwhile, Big Frames are pushing the same side. Turn Up Too Easy gonna get sprayed down. I don't think Randy Savage is gonna be able to respond there. Both falling to the gun of Impulsive Street there, pushing the same side and not working out this time around. Rolled retake the lead. And now no money practically on the side of Big Frames.
It was
Both
it was
teams-
another do or die, honestly, for Big Frames. They weren't
yeah, I
in the
think for
clear
both
just
teams at that
yet.
point, yeah, it was really win or go back to pistols, and it is going back to pistols for Big Frames. So be interesting to see how they adjust. We know a lot of teams like to get aggressive on these sort of half buys.
Yeah, power numbers with pistols. I mean, you might as well.
Han making himself known on the A side once again, has that Phantom against all of the pistols of Big Frames. Doesn't push too aggressively quite yet, but Turn Up Too Easy is quite alone on this A site as another member of his team will fall on the opposite side.
And B site is pretty much open.
Even more so now. There are only 2 members left for Big Frames. I don't expect too many heroics coming out from this round.
And this should be a pretty easy plant.
Yeah, CP2 almost had some action there, but they're going to take the alternative route, so he's going to have to really be on the point to get a kill there.
With a
Adrenaline.
classic.
Yeah, just edging him out there. It wouldn't be the first time we've seen a classic edge out of Vandal, but it would have been one of the few times as Rolled pick up a flawless round to extend their lead to 2.
Yeah, being that was flawless on top of, you know, getting that upper hand on Big Frame's already depleted economy.
Yeah.
I mean, but look at this full buyout. They said, you know what? We're just...
They have to, yeah. After
have
full
to.
pistols last round, you really have to take your chance. If they don't win this round, the rest of the half is looking quite grim for
Eyes
Big
up.
Frames. So Big Frames once again spread out. They will stack 2 members towards A long this time as a response to Han. Han playing a little further back, but he's going to prop himself up, and they will hear that jump up there, so they do expect this. The grenade is so effective in pushing Randy Savage out of there and allowing Han to get that opening frag. Almost gets the second, but Randy Savage too quick for him on the return.
I'm surprised he didn't take any damage from that rocket.
Yeah.
Felt like it was pretty close.
Yeah, not sure exactly where that landed, so definitely lucky to have escaped with all of his skin. Rolled, though, meanwhile, while all of this has happened, have completely opened up the B site, but they will get spotted out by the Cypher now, so they will have to execute this faster than they maybe would have liked to. Big Frames are responding with the rotate and with the rolling thunder, but Mizzou will take out Winsome. Oh, and now here comes the artillery. Big Frames absolutely firing away, understanding the consequences of this round, but Impulsive Street with a really tricky positioning there towards B, using the wall to prop himself up. Smartly played to pick up the double kill. It is now just CP2, and he's
getting all up in his face.
He's like, well, if you're not gonna shoot it, I'm just gonna.
He's here, guys. He's here. He's here.
That is probably the cheekiest owl drone I've ever seen. What are you gonna do? So CP2 finally getting hunted down as Impulsive Street picks up his 3rd kill of the round, and now rolling away with the first half, extending their round to, or extending their lead to double what Big Frames has, and now Big Frames once again back to a save.
Yeah, that really hurt Big Frames. And like you said, the rest of this half is just going to be a straight
It's
uphill
dicey.
mountain.
Yeah, it's so dicey because you look at how much money is in the bank there for Roll. They have what, 3 players over 7K, so that's, you know, losing around and still being able to buy for everyone coming back the next round, maybe the next 2. So Rolled definitely happy with their position. Even happier is CP2, one of the biggest threats for Big Frames, goes down there in that B corridor, opening it up for Mizzou to try to get another edgy kill. Adrenaline will get a kill of his own towards mid, and now Big Frames are absolutely scattered and destroyed as Rolled rolls on through for their 7th win.
They're still taking their time. They're not rushing anything in
Yeah.
there. You know, as you said, World is very calculated in a lot of what they do. And I think that also gives them a huge advantage later in games, too. They don't lose that edge. They don't, you know, run in. They don't get antsy. They're very well composed.
Turn up too easy. Had the crosshair in the right place, but unfortunately didn't click quite fast enough. So Rolled will be able to freely take A site here, as Randy Savage trying to find a sneaky exit frag. But I think you're absolutely right. A lot of these teams we see rely on heavy fragging to carry them through, and that's a valid strategy until you get to the grand finals. And then you're facing a team like Rolled where, regardless, we saw Rolled down 6 rounds and they were still being coordinated, still, you know, moving together as a team, you know, still rotating based on each other's information. We'll see some teams kind of flounder in that situation and not be able to put together an organized push, because a lot of teams will look at it and say, we've got pistols and SMGs. Well, you know, who cares about what we do? We're going to lose anyways. But Rolled definitely don't take that approach. Always erring on the side of calculation, as Mizzou shows getting the kill onto Randy Savage. I believe his 2nd kill of the round.
Don't even get that gun to take on to the next round.
No, definitely not. So Big Frames will be able to get some big guns, but CP2 not able to get a full set of armor, and that's definitely disappointing. CP2, along with Turn Up Too Easy, was one of the top carries for Big Frames last round, so it's definitely tough to see him stumble even with the op in his hand.
And round 11.
Trying to get this peek towards B. Rolled not giving away too much information just yet. Oh.
The shimmy.
Yeah, it does actually get the clip on him as well onto Adrenaline, so he will be happy about that, at least getting the heal on cooldown and taking out his armor. I'm not sure he knows he even hit that shot, though.
Yeah.
It didn't look like it, to be honest.
At all.
Interesting to see. Big frames are very spread out here. CP2 pushed up rather aggressively. He's in a prime position to meet head first with 3 members of Rolled. He will back out in the nick of time as the bullets start flying. Adrenaline will get res. CP2 trying to slow this push down if he can, make some time for his teammates, but Rolled haven't yet fully committed and are actually going to pull away from this B site. Really clever here as they have pulled the resources of Big Frames towards B side. They haven't gotten the full rotate quite just yet, but Rolled with a clear advantage going into the last 30 seconds of this round.
Yeah, there is only 30 seconds and there hasn't
been
a move yet.
Yeah, they got to do something.
Yeah. So lots of utilities used.
And they didn't capitalize. They had A site, relatively open. But then they just shift walked towards. So now only 10 seconds remaining. They're going to have to really rush out on the site. Adrenaline, though, not worried about the amount of time left. Gets a double kill, secures the spike plant as well. Winsome will try to open it up, but gets taken out by Mizzou. Just 2 members with less than 1 health bar between them to try to retake this site.
And Adrenaline shooting through the floor actually gave his position away, and he's the one who ended up taking damage right there.
Yeah.
But Rolled, I mean, look at the players of Big Frames. They're practically dead.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. They have less than 60 health between the 2 of them. So any strong breezes are enough to take this pair out. So CP2 definitely wanting to hold onto the op for another day, as I do believe that's going to be his best route back to being effective in this game. Meanwhile, Adrenaline and Han going nutty for this first half. They heard there was a HyperX headset on the line. They're like, oh, wait, if we get more kills, we can get free stuff? All right. So Adrenaline racking up the kills thus far. Han did start out very strong towards that A side, being ever aggressive there, but Big Frames did kind of respond to that, not wanting to push out into A long, not revealing their positions quite as freely. So Rolled now having to take them still seriously with a almost full buy on the side of Big Frames, but they can breathe easier knowing they have a 5-round lead going into the 10th, or excuse me, going into the 12th round.
Yeah, so last round of the half.
Last round of the half.
I'm surprised that none of the players of Rolled use the operator. I know sometimes we do see it on attack, but they've been steering clear of it.
Yeah, that's I definitely understand it on this map, because I've tried more times than I can count to be effective with the op on this map. I love the op, I love the one shot, one kill, but I'm not fast enough to do it on this map. You have to be so fast around these corners to make the op work here. You don't have those long corridors to work with. Meanwhile, Randy Savage does get an edge for his team there in mid lane, will eventually get traded out, but this is a 4v3 in the favor of Big Frames, but they still are going to get collapsed on, it looks like, on this B side, where it will be a 3v2, so they will have to be clever. Winsome shutting off one of the areas of approach there. Han takes out CB2, an important first kill. Han takes out Winsome, an important second kill. Will be able to get the spike down. It is a 2v2 with healers on both sides. This is what we were looking for before this game started, is how these teams are going to get set up on B site. How are they going to retake this area? Han with a really nice corner there. Oh, doesn't get the shot down. I would have bet everything that would have landed. Turn up too easy. Does get taken out for Impulsive Streets' 3rd kill of the round, but it is a 1v1 now. Oh my goodness. Impulsive Street with the 4K now. 3 members on the side of Rolled, 13 kills apiece going into the second half. 9-3 Rolled.
hear them yelling at each other. Only one of us gets the headset. Let me get all the kills.
We can't share the headset, guys. We can't share the headset. It's definitely going to come down to assists. Impulsive Street can, breathe a little sigh of relief. All right, I got the 7 assists, almost double what anybody else got. That's going to help my combat score a little bit. So definitely see. What I hope won't happen for Rolled is getting into a frag contest of the strategy goes out the door and they're just gunning for kills. Now, that is how you fall apart as a team, but we definitely have high expectations for a coordinated team like Rolled. I don't think that will be too much of an issue. Looks like Impulsive Street will be the lone barrier in the way of this all-out B push coming in from Big Frames, but they slow it down. They're just waiting for the slow orb. Here comes the utility, and now they're going to get walled off. They will gun right through it, but this gives Rolled a little more time to adjust and get 2 members down to the site. You think Big Frames might reconsider this, but they're still going to push through. They do get some vision down to B site, but they are going to lose nerf, and now they are so clumped into this area, taking damage from both sides. Turn up too easy, will get a response kill, but Pauly takes out Randy Savage before taking out himself. Impulsive Street with a quick double kill now to hold the site. What an action-packed pistol round. 2v1 for Rolled. Turn up too easy with it all to do. Gets nicked right around the corner there. Impulsive Street making him think twice. Which way you gonna go? Impulsive Street says either way's the wrong way, baby. You're on Impulsive Street. Impulsive Street getting the 3K, cementing his fragging lead.
Wow, Impulsive playing out of his mind with these plays. That shimmy, oh my god.
I learned so much in those few seconds from Impulsive Street right now. If you care about being an effective defender, you will go back and watch that play from Impulsive Street. He melted the minds of Big Frames with those footsteps. They did not know where this guy was going to go. So impressive to use the jump to fake where he was going. I mean,
yeah.
I could talk about that forever.
And he only had 23 life versus
Yes,
100.
he didn't have the heal on. The heal was on cooldown. Didn't have the heal, so he just had to be smart, and be smart is what he did. Impulsive Street getting another double kill here, getting another triple kill. A flawless round for Rolled. Of course, you expect them to win the round right after winning the pistol, but you don't expect them to win it quite so succinctly. Impulsive Street picking up 6 kills in 2 rounds.
He said dibs on that headset. I am just running away with it. Yeah, does it feel like Big Frames is maybe just getting antsy now?
Yeah, I don't even know what to say really. I don't think they're demoralized, or they weren't, at least in that round. Yeah, antsy is a good way to put it. They're not taking the best trades. They're kind of forcing things, but they will get all together here towards this A site, and adrenaline will make them think twice. Getting the action started on CP2 definitely cuts out a lot of the fragging power that Big Frames has available to them, so they're gonna have to rethink the A push. They are so spread out across this map, and I'm not sure you can get away with that against Rolled.
No, I mean, they tried to group up over at A. It didn't work. Adrenaline popped his head out and scattered them. But, I mean, maybe the spread out is what they need. Maybe they need to win these 1v1s.
They need to find a foothold somewhere before they can push together. Randy Savage does give them an opportunity over towards mid. They do even it up, get it closer to even. But Mizzou and Pauly making it a little bit harder, but they are Rolled now down to 1 man. That 1 man is Mizzou. He's got 17 HP, trying to find the kill. Won't be able to fish for it there.
Yeah.
Yeah, Winsome finally takes him out. So Big Frames get a round on the board here in the second half, slowing the roll of the Rolled train.
Yeah, much needed point on the board.
Seriously, but look at the money for them. They're not able to get the full buy onto Randy Savage or CP2. Nerf stuck with the Bulldog there. I mean, you look at the side of Rolled. They have the op in the hands of Impulsive Street, who's been playing out of his gourd, and Han with the judge in his hand. We know him to be effective on it as well. So I would definitely still give Rolled an edge into this round.
Yeah, but if they lose this round, they'll actually be the one kind of hurting on their economy.
That's true. Definitely true
There.
here.
Impulsive is down to 100 bucks after that.
Yeah. Takes out the drone, but can't take out the player. Nerfed starts the action on Dahan. A really important kill there for Big Frames.
Tripwire destroyed. Cage trigger.
It looks like they want to go towards this A spot, and Adrenaline finally getting the spray down on a Winsome. Does get taken out, but Mizzou will trade it out for a Nerf. Turn up too easy, gets the res, but Pauly going absolutely nutty from heaven, picks up a double kill. It's going to spot out some vision as well. Not able to hold down on the drone, coming around the corner and seeing Randy Savage is not what he expected. Now just down to top fragger Impulsive Street in the op.
Yeah, that flank was beautiful.
Oh, no way! Impulsive Street, just as the door closed, gets the Indiana Jones kill.
Wow.
Just one man to go for Big Frames. He got everything to do in this round. This would be so tough if Big Frames lose this one. But Randy Savage is crazy! No! But nobody's, it doesn't matter. What a nutty trade. The bomb will go off uncontested, but oh my goodness, Randy Savage had it all to do there. Ends up coming out on top despite going down to the bomb buddy. I'm not sure I've ever seen a bomb buddy kill.
Double KO.
Yeah, from the grave for Han as well. They need to add that achievement, you know, ASAP. From the grave. Absolutely great stuff from Big Frames to stay in the game, showing that they're not quite yet knocked out of this match. They do need to get some kills going on their side. The KDA is looking rather weak, but they do have the economy advantage here, as they will set up the mid control as they have the better guns. But Mizzou actually gets the round started. He will get traded out for Han. Or excuse me, Han will get traded out for that as CP2 picks up a kill on Mizzou. So Big Frames still with the advantage there.
And rolled, this is a save round for them. Like I said, they didn't win that last one. They were going to be hurting.
Adrenaline being ever so sneaky. I think they will check this corner if they did. Yeah, the flash, but it doesn't matter. He still gets the headshot. He will go down. Big Frames will take the round. Impressive kill from Adrenaline. Not enough to seal the round. Now rolled. They gotta be a little nervous. They've dropped three in a row. And how many times have we seen teams so close to wrapping up a match drop 5 rounds in a row, and all of a sudden the match is back?
Yeah. Don't want to do that. Not when you're this close.
Oh,
you know,
gosh,
for $1,000, it's $700 on the line for your team. You just want to clutch it out.
You're so close.
Hopefully that doesn't make them
2
antsy.
rounds away. Yeah. All of a sudden they just start rushing out everywhere. Oh, I gotta get it.
What's going on?
So rolled here a bit on the back foot despite having the 5-round lead, not able to bring it to match point. The Hunter's Fury comes out for CP2. I don't believe he finds anybody there.
Han gonna take out Randy Savage. He's just so aggressive in that A corridor. That is like where he belongs.
That's his home. It doesn't matter either, attacking or defending. He just goes all out on A long. So yeah, you really can't mess with him there. Definitely making a statement. Big Frames are rather bunched up. They'll have to throw out the Rolling Thunder, but Han responds with the rocket launcher. He will get taken out by Winsome, but this gets so much crazier here as Adrenaline Impulsive Street pick up kills of their own. A 3v1 for Rolled. This is the opportunity they've been waiting for. Nerfed the spike down on A site, has no idea where Rolled are. This is going to be so tricky to pull off, as they know exactly where he is. Trying to hunt around the corner here. He's got to be clever, but he reveals maybe too much, as they're going to see that on the side of Impulsive Street. He will be able to get the spike down here, but the Wolves are closing in. Impulsive Street stepping around the corner. Oh, what a great peek from Impulsive Street, coordinating with the team. Really, really smart stuff there. And so it looks like, and not that it looks like, Rolled will take it to match point there. Now Big Frames, a 6-round deficit to overcome, and they can't drop a single round doing so.
That's hard to do in grand finals. This is very hard. And I mean, Rolled just having that many players still alive, having the economy, like even if they, I mean, if they drop this one, yeah, it goes back to being scary. But when you have 6 rounds up on your opponent and you're sitting on match point, you're not too worried, but you definitely don't want to let it get away from you.
Oh, Adrenaline, the smart peek there through mid, and Pauly will follow up onto Winsome as well. This mountain just keeps getting bigger for Big Frames. They're really going to have to pull the rabbit out of the hat here. Quick side note, while things settle down quite a bit, as Adrenaline says, they haven't settled down at all. I'm going to keep getting kills. It's Impulsive Stream, not Impulsive Street. I've been informed from Twitch chat. I've been making the mistake all day, but thank you guys for letting me know, because I will need to know that if Impulsive Stream does wrap up that HyperX MVP of the match, which looks like he is gunning for, Nerfed will get the assassination onto Mizzou, so this does open up the opportunities for Big Frames, but he is the last man standing, and he's got 4 bodies to take out.
I don't know. I think Adrenaline was trying to take away some of Impulsive Stream's, cloud here.
Yeah, he might have thought, wait, let's throw a few rounds so I can get my KDA back in shape. But GG's to Rolled, once again proving why they are such a strong team here in the VSS, taking grand finals, taking the Lions' share of $1,000 home with them. Congratulations, of course, to Big Frames. It is no easy task to come into a competition like this for your first time, make it all the way to grand finals, make it over teams that are used to the format, used to the schedule. They've been doing this week in, week out. Big Frames kind of just showed up and said, we're here. We're here and we're ready to play. So GG's Big Frames, but congratulations to VSS number 10 champions Rolled. And we will be bringing the HyperX MVP of the match here for you shortly. Any bets on who you think?
I looked at it.
What are you gonna do? We could have had some banter, but I haven't seen it, chat. I'm still staying true to you guys. I'm gonna still guess it's Impulsive Stream. Wrapping it up, I would if I had to guess, and it will be Impulsive Stream taking home the HyperX Cloud Core Stinger headset that will be sent out to you very shortly. Congratulations! Absolutely nutty performance from him. I mean, if we looked at the KDAs for Rolled going into the second half, it was 13 all the way down, and then it was like 22 13
jumped up there.
Yeah, so Impulsive Stream playing absolutely out of his gourd for those final few rounds.
Honestly, that play on B site around the boxes,
that was enough. That was enough right there. Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree. Like I said, if you want to know how to defend B site on Ascent, go watch that play from Impulsive Stream. Absolutely brilliant movement. The mind games to say, oh, I'm going over here. No, I'm going over here. I'm jumping over here, and I've killed you. I can't imagine.
The 23 help.
I can't imagine being the attacker in that situation, and like you're thinking, like, all right, he's over here. Oh God, no, he's over. Where is he coming from? And then all of a sudden you're dead.
Feels bad.
Yeah, feels mega bad, man. So
congratulations.
Congratulations, Rolled. Congratulations to the HyperX MVP of the match. To Impulsive Stream. I almost said Immortal Stream, and I knew that wasn't it, but it practically might have been true. Impulsive Stream wrapping up that reward, and I just want to say to everyone, thank you guys so much for tuning in today. Thank you so much for all of the teams that enter and compete with us every week. It means so much to see teams like Rolled, to see teams like Destin, to see teams like Gosu coming out. Really, really means the world to us, guys. So from Dilly G here, thank you guys so much.
And we'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Hard times and I can't get out.